That 1 to 2, possibly even as high as 3-inch rainfall totals. We need it. We just not all at one time. But again, we will take it for sure. Things a little quieter as we head towards the weekend. And once again, as we go late Saturday into Sunday, another opportunity for some rain. So again, we'll have this rain come.
The spur is, and clearly, as you see there, yeah, probably no surprise that they did close this off, because as close as it is there, well, this was from a little while ago, so it's only even closer now to the roadways. Again, from Zach Jones. Zach, thank you very much. Really appreciate the video and giving us an idea of what people are expecting.
Wildfires threatening popular resort towns in East Tennessee.
If you are a person that prays, we could use your prayers.
At least 14 fires near the Smoky Mountains National Park, forcing mass evacuations.
We've packed our valuables ready to go if we need to.
Endangering homes and businesses in nearby Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. At one point, 30 buildings engulfed in the fires, including the 16-story Hilton Hotel. This amateur video posted on social media shows the raging fires just outside the hotel's windows, guests anxiously watching from inside. The fire now at the edge of the Dollywood theme park. The park not yet damaged, but portions of the resort evacuated.
We have multiple trees now falling with embers, starting additional fires throughout the area.
Wind gusts topping 70 miles per hour, combined with the worst drought in the region in nearly a decade, fanning the flames.
We're dealing with the worst possible conditions imaginable.
Well, at least the tree. Let's start at Natty Branch. We're going the wrong way. What?
Sure. So California, as you mentioned, California is at the in the middle of a very severe multi-year drought. So 4 or 5 years of very dry weather combined with things being warmer than usual. And what that's meant in California is that very many of the trees are under a lot of stress. So when you go year after year of not getting enough water, you're putting those trees under an enormous amount of water stress. And this makes them more susceptible to the organisms that attack them. So bark beetles and other organisms have been killing trees. And this drought is probably one of the worst that we've seen, at least in the last couple of centuries. And so I think the Forest Service has estimated that over 100 million trees have died in California during the drought. A lot of that just in the last couple of years, and as they put it, it's unprecedented. There's more trees dying in California, and we haven't seen trees die at this scale in California that I'm aware of in recorded history.
Breaking news now, just into the newsroom. An earthquake has just rocked Central America. It has measured at 7.2 on the Richter scale, and it hit around 150 kilometres southwest of El Salvador. There are no immediate reports of any damage, but of course 7.4 in magnitude is very significant, so we'll stay across that and bring you more as soon as it comes into the newsroom.
Tropical storm Otto hit Costa Rica with hurricane-force winds and a month's worth of rain in some areas. At least 9 deaths have been reported. The president's declared 3 days of mourning starting on November the 28th. Costa Rica's National Emergency Commission said more than 250 communities had been affected by the storm. It said more than 5,500 people were being housed in shelters across the country. Otto hit Nicaragua on Thursday as a Category 2 hurricane, but weakened rapidly to a tropical storm as it headed to Costa Rica. It was the 7th Atlantic hurricane of the season.
Bien, nada más.
Thunderstorm asthma disaster hits Australia. 4 people are dead after a thunderstorm triggered massive asthma flare-ups in Melbourne on Monday night. A storm that raged through the city shortly before 6 p.m. brought with it extreme levels of ryegrass pollen, causing a rare phenomenon known as thunderstorm asthma. Experts say there is no way to predict the phenomenon since storms on high pollen count days don't always result in thunderstorm asthma.
Massachusetts College will no longer be flying the American flag on campus. Hampshire College protesters putting the flag at half-staff after the election because Trump was elected. It was then burned on Veterans Day. The school is now taking down all flags while they consult with students on how to use them appropriately. Great.
Down the flag the night before Veterans Day and set it on fire. Henceforth, says the school's president, no American flags will be flown on campus. Getting rid of the flag, he wrote, and I'm quoting, will enable us to instead focus our efforts on addressing racist, misogynistic, Islamophobic, anti-immigrant, anti-Semitic, and anti-LBGQ rhetoric and behaviors. Joining us now is Hampshire College student Daniel Vogel, who was in favor of removing the flag, though didn't burn it. Daniel, thanks a lot for coming on tonight. So I want to read you a quote from you. This is to the Amherst Bulletin, and you said, think about the groups who use the flag, from police officers to the U.S. Army. These are the forces on the ground that make oppression happen. Now, the obvious point is, obviously, if the police and the Army were to go away, sensitive college students like you would be eaten alive. Let me ask you a deeper question, which is, you find America unfair? Okay. What's a fairer country? Can you think of a country where you'd rather, for example, go on trial for a felony?
I think to respond to your question, there isn't really a country I'd rather be tried for a felony in. I really doubt that it's not really about me, you know. It's about black people and people of color in this country who, if they were tried for a felony, are much more likely than me to be put in prison for that.
Okay,
and I'm sure
I'll shift the question there. And by the way, I'm not arguing, never would argue that there aren't inequities here, that it's a perfect country or anything like that. Of course not. But is there a country in which African Americans would stand a chance of a fairer trial than the United States? Is there a fairer country? I mean, I guess my question is, like, do you have perspective on the world? When you say that all police and all cops are bad, do you really know what you're talking about?
Do I have perspective on the world? Yeah, I'm well aware that the United States is militarily involved in over 7 different countries right now. Beyond Iraq and Afghanistan, they're involved in Libya. They're involved in plenty of countries in Africa. We have drone bases across the world, and I think that the U.S. Imperial Forces are really the main force in the world right now, using military force to oppress people.
Okay, I get it, but and I think we should fix and improve the country. But you're basically saying the flag represents evil to the extent that it shouldn't be flown. And my question is, why is it always rich kids who make that point? Why is it always kids from a $62,000 a year college like Hampshire who are making that point? None of the workers who you claim to be representing ever say that. You never see anybody at a trade school burning the American flag. Have you noticed that? I'm not making this up in my mind, am I?
I think that...
What's the median family income in this country? Do you know?
The median family income in this country?
Yeah. What does a median family make? Yeah, it's
the
much
median
less.
family in this country?
Yeah, it's much less than 1 year of your schooling. Yeah, of $62,000, which is what you pay or your parents pay for you to go to Hampshire school and burn the American flag. It's much less than that. And so I just wonder if you understand the bounty that you have, the good deal that you have, the excess that you're benefiting from. Do you get that at all?
Oh, no, I am 100% privileged to be at this institution, and I think that I have to recognize the fact that the wealth of my parents that was able to pay for this institution was garnered off of slavery and was taken from exploitation. The land that I live on was taken from Native peoples, and the land that I live on back in Portland, back home, was taken from Native peoples. It's the wealth of the people who've been oppressed and who've had things stolen from them that allow me to go to this institution.
But then, so why are you doing it? I mean, honestly, why are you doing it? I mean, why not go pick apples in Washington State? Why are you consuming $62,000 a year of this blood money, as you describe it, to sit around campus and do pointless rhetorical and symbolic acts like burning flags? I mean, why not work with the people, the laborers? And yet, I bet there's virtually nobody on your campus who's openly supporting Donald Trump. Do you yearn for more diversity on your campus, or are you happy in a world where everyone thinks like you?
I think diversity is a different word when you're applying it to political standpoints versus different aspects of justice, academia.
Well, I'm for diversity, Daniel, and I say we diversify Hampshire College. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Doug.
Good luck to you.
On Monday, Pope Francis extended the power to forgive abortion to all Roman Catholic priests. Forgiving abortions was a right previously reserved for bishops or special confessors. Francis said he wanted to restate as firmly as he could that abortion is a grave sin since it puts an end to an innocent life. But there is no sin that God's mercy cannot reach and wipe away when it finds a repentant heart seeking to be reconciled with God. Pope Francis suggested this would last for at least the rest of his papacy.
A 40-year-old mom in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is accused of trying to kill her own 8-year-old son by slashing him across the throat. Police say the reason she gave is that Jesus told her to do it. According to arrest documents, police were called to an apartment on Mission Drive after a neighbor called saying that Gloria Ross had cut her son across his throat. The victim had reportedly ran to the neighbor for help, claiming his mom cut him with a serrated kitchen knife. Witnesses told police that they heard the victim screaming loudly and saw Ross holding the knife. Police say the 8-year-old boy and his sister were able to run to another neighbor's apartment for safety. The boy treated at a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Ross has been charged for attempted first-degree murder and second-degree cruelty to a juvenile.
Some other headlines now. Problem with issuing green cards is much worse than initially believed. An audit of Citizenship and Immigration Services found thousands of green cards have gone missing. Some cards were mailed to the wrong addresses. Some were duplicates and others contained incorrect information. In some cases, immigrants approved to stay in the country for 2 years were given cards good for 10 years. The Inspector General of Homeland Security says green cards in the wrong hands could enable terrorists and other criminals to remain in the U.S.
Fueled by strong winds and dry weather, part of Haifa's skyline has been transformed by fire. The billowing smoke forcing the authorities to order tens of thousands of people to leave the city. Many homes have already been destroyed, with firefighters working to douse the flames to stop the fires spreading. Some houses, though, are beyond repair. The main highway between Israel's third biggest city and Tel Aviv was closed for some time, while teams tried to put out the flames as they gained ground on residential areas. The wildfires have struck an area close to Jerusalem, with some property already lost to the blaze. Homes have also been damaged in part of the occupied West Bank. Israeli authorities have raised the possibility that the fires may have been started deliberately, arresting 4 Israeli Palestinians, but a judge released them soon afterwards, citing a lack of evidence.
Right now, press, get ready to write your passive-aggressive LeBron James racist comments. Season 4, racist comments. Get ready to have a field day, press. Get ready, because the show's over.
Oh my God!
Kanye West is hospitalized today after a string of several bizarre recent incidents.
Kanye West canceled his concert here in LA tonight just hours after ranting and then walking off the stage in Sacramento.
It's a new world, Hillary Clinton. It's a new world.
The hip-hop star reportedly was taken to UCLA Medical Center after a series of erratic public outbursts. West is said to be under a psychiatric hold today, which prevents him from leaving the hospital.
Y'all don't want to lose again. A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why? Because y'all been lied to. Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you.
You know, to cancel a month and a half's worth of tours when a lot of money is on the line, something is pretty wrong here.
But sometimes we be playing the politics too much and forgetting who we are. Just to win. Winning. Looking cool. I've been sitting here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sitting here to give y'all the truth. Feelings matter. Because guess what? Everybody in middle America felt the way. And they showed you how they felt. Feelings matter, bro. It's a new world. It's a new world, Barack. It's a new world, Jay-Z. These is the vibes, bro. This is the future. This is the way of thinking to make America great again. To black people, stop focusing on racism. This world is racist, okay? Let's stop being distracted to focus on that as much. Not the people that work at radio. Because these is real people that gotta feed their kids. And they not being allowed to play that real. Because they think that in order to feed their kids, they gotta play the same over and over. I was raised by DMX, the last real
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. You're like 4 cars, you know, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. You know, because I'd never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people.
For those people who actively denounce God, that could very well indicate they were never saved in the first place.
You know, you can't call one person the devil.
Joe Arpaio?
You know, you can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. You know, and you know, it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what, this is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because He helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles.
Okay, so but when you're done here, when you're out of here,
I'm not looking back.
You're not coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the states. If I'm in a plane and they're gonna fly over it, I'm gonna go around, okay? You know, as I pray for everyone else, you know, whether I know you or not, I pray for my friends, family, loved ones, and as well as my enemies every night, you know, because we're all God's children. We're all God's children, and we all deserve the same grace.
An explosion went off just moments ago at a military base outside of Chicago.
Peace and security.
Professor, it says here that the chip could trace the purchases of excessive weaponry and stopping terrorist attacks before they start.
Do not get that chip.
He who testifies to these things says, yes, I am coming quickly. Amen. Come, Lord Jesus. That means he can come back at any moment. He can come back right now.